Onstage, Johnston Jimenez. Onstage, Johnston Jimenez. Onstage, Johnston Jimenez. Onstage, Johnston Jimenez.
Yeah.
Tonight we welcome Shoobies to the stage of the Phoenix Theater. This band describes themselves as Santa Cruz garbage on their social media. But sometimes garbage can be good. And tonight we hope to find out exactly what type of garbage this band is. Please welcome to the program, Shoobies.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Oh my goodness. So you guys sent me a list of talking points before this, which I'm very thankful for. I want to start with one that grabbed my eye the most. I think it's a topic that people usually love to talk about and feels very appropriate given the building we're in. And that is, Caleb, you live in a place that is purportedly haunted.
Yeah, potentially.
And you're hiring paranormal investigators.
Yeah.
So let's just start with, how do you know this place that you're living is haunted?
Okay, so there was a story that goes along with the house, but also I think anybody that stays there without me or a family member has some kind of interaction with something beyond the material world, whether it be my friend sleeping in their car and having like the same dream of someone knocking on it that was like a family member, or people seeing, someone claimed to see a young woman walking around in like a Hawaiian t-shirt. It was very interesting, a lot of different varying perspectives, but yeah, in general, a lot of people that don't stay there were like, I don't know, without me, have some interesting stories to tell.
So have you ever experienced ghosts in this place?
No, and I've heard I won't because I'm a family member, because I live in like this Masonic park, and so apparently if you're affiliated or like a family member, you're not going to have any kind of interaction, but it's notorious for people that aren't to like sort of get tested a bit. So pretty interesting.
And who is it that is dead?
So I have a family member named Tom that hangs out in the backyard because his ashes are buried in the backyard. And I can elaborate further if need be.
Please elaborate. Yeah. Tell us this person's full biography.
Yeah, so Tom was an EMT, great guy, worked on an ambulance, made sure people were okay, but unfortunately died pretty young of some, I believe, some diabetic situation, you know?
Yeah.
Passed away early on in his life, maybe 40 or so. And I have a younger cousin who died young but was resuscitated and could see ghosts. And he was playing in this fountain where his ashes were buried, and we didn't know this at the time, but anyway, he was like, oh, I'm playing with this person, blah blah blah, hanging out, comes inside the house, points at an old photograph and is like, that's who I was playing with but younger. And they were like, oh, this is really interesting. So didn't tell CJ, the cousin of mine, anything, and then talked to my grandparents and was like, who's this person? And they're like, oh, well, that's Tom, and his ashes are buried under the fountain. And that's exactly where he was playing. So Tom hangs out in my backyard, great guy, EMT, stand-up dude, but definitely around. Yeah.
Before we continue, yes, I know the headphones are doing a fucked up weird thing, but I don't think it's affecting the audio we're tracking. It's a ghost.
Yeah, Tom does not want us to hear what's
Tom,
going on right now.
Okay.
Ghost in the machinery.
Okay, this is actually appropriate. Maybe it will stay in the episode. First of all, do the other two band members believe in ghosts?
Of course.
Depends on the day.
Oh, come on.
Depends on the day.
Come have a night's stay alone.
If you would like to hear a really evasive answer, you could say, Tom Gaffey, do you believe in ghosts?
I'm willing to believe. Like I say, I'm 64, and I am not going to say, dude, man, I believe in ghosts. I've seen all these ghosts, and I'm really sure that they exist, and I believe in ghosts. I've seen enough stuff here to definitely make me think that there's something there. Absolutely.
There's something in this thing to my left right now.
Right.
Oh, yeah. As it jumps to your left.
And the fact of the matter is, if it looked like we were about to start talking about someone here, that's what would have probably happened anyway, I think.
Yeah.
Because I have a non-disclosure policy with one individual that may or may not be a ghost here, and I really won't discuss him.
How many ghosts do you think are in this building, the Phoenix Theater, which is purportedly haunted at this very moment?
At this very moment?
Yeah.
Well, if I had to guess, I'd think Chris is hanging out really close right now.
And who is Chris?
Well, Chris was the first maybe ghost that I met when I was a kid.
Big Chris.
Big Chris, yeah. Big Chris. And we would sleep on the stage, and would spend the night here. And boy, as you're falling asleep, just as about when you're falling asleep, you'd hear these big footfalls walking across the stage, and boom, it would inevitably stop right over us. And you could just feel this big presence looking down at us, but it felt totally safe, and it just, because it never freaked me. We all drifted off to sleep, and always felt like we had kind of somebody watching over us.
Yeah, definitely same here.
Yeah,
I agree.
and that's the thing. You got family in it, so you're definitely.
What was interesting is I thought it was my great grandma who owned it, but I was like, no, this is definitely like a male energy, and I didn't know at the time the story, and then they told me, and I was like, oh man, okay, Tom.
So have either of you had experiences with ghosts? The non-Calebs of the table.
No,
Nah.
not at all. Except for maybe right now.
I wish.
Because
I live in a super old house, and it's like it should be haunted. I mean, it looks haunted, but nothing has happened yet.
I'm pleased to hear that you believe in them, because you're folks of science. You two are science people. And I would imagine that some people who are science adjacent would be more skeptical of such things.
Adjacent, I like that.
5 years ago and a day, we had on this very show, on this very stage, a ghost hunter named Amy Bruni. And she is a paranormal investigator. She got her start doing ghost hunting at the Phoenix when she was a child.
Okay.
Wow.
And we talked about a lot of the ghosts in the Phoenix. It's a good episode. People should go listen to it. Why is it that you want to hire a paranormal investigator?
So I think want is something that maybe is misrepresented. It came to me, in fact. So there's some lore about the house I live next to, which is a powder house in the Paradise Park in Santa Cruz. And apparently, I'm not sure the decade per se, but there was a large explosion in the basement that killed anywhere from 20 to 30 people.
Oh, like gunpowder.
In the home. Exactly, because there was a railroad track running through, transported gunpowder and whatnot. So anyway, it's like this lore about this place being haunted. And so these women drove by in a truck and stopped me in front of my house and was like, hey, we had a buddy of ours who was a plumber working on one of these houses and said that he had an experience with something that was otherworldly, and we want to experiment and check out anything that you think is interesting. Like, what do you think's haunted? And like, well, firstly, my house, and second of all, the house next to me that had 30 people die in it. So I'm the only one that'll probably talk to you, but we should definitely exchange numbers. And they gave me their card, and Pink House Paranormal Investigations, they're going to come by and handle it for free, they mentioned. Yeah.
When you say handle it, though, like, what's the goal? To get this person out of there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I think it's identification and
Just say
understanding.
what up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Clarity and a nice introduction. For me, it's going to be speaking to them and being like, hey, is this definitely for you? Is this a scam? And then moving from there into what they claim to be television-worthy equipment. And, I don't know. They're going to come check stuff out.
I mean, they'll do their EVPs, and they might use the laser grid stuff and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll know better than anybody else.
Yeah, I want to turn it into a performance art piece personally, and film them and do the whole thing, and like plant Halloween decorations and the whole bit.
Oh man, yeah. Here's the deal. So down here, because we've had this reputation forever, people are always coming by and asking if they could do ghost hunts, and they're ghost groups that do this.
Yeah.
Paranormal groups, and we started by letting a few come in and do it, but then it felt like we were starting to have our ghosts be part of the entertainment here.
Yeah,
and that's not fair.
You don't want to exploit the dead. They've had a long enough life.
They're not here for that. Yeah.
No, and so, you don't like to talk specifically about some of them. You have agreements with some of them.
I won't. Yeah.
And you also framed it in a way that I had never really thought about, which is like when people decide to haunt a certain place from their past or whatever, that they kind of have a choice, and that at a certain point they can like move along. And a paranormal investigator came here, talked to you about it.
An old friend, actually, one of the first paranormal people we had here, came through. Like in 1983 or 84, he got a hit from just about this place, and he reached out to us and said, wow, there's something about your building. So he brought an instructor with him from the Berkeley Psychic Institution.
Wow.
Interesting.
And they came in, and we did this incredible reading, and it was great. And then probably 20 years later, he came back and said, but here's the thing. You should be moving some of them out. So you can be a pass-through place. This is not a place that a lot of people were born. Yeah. And this is a place that they had some experience, but the fact of the matter is, what a glorious thing if you're a ghost. If that energy is real, then what are the other possibilities that you can do, and why would you stay in one place? And so I encourage it now. Down in the basement, I was having issues with something down there, And finally, I just started burning incense and having discussions about why would you hang out in this basement?
Okay, so then a jumping off prompt from there is like,
job.
what the Shoobies? Have you thought about what your post-life plans are going to be? What options are going to be available to you?
Oh.
I hope I'm just hanging out
Do you feel like if you died right now,
right now.
that you then could be here if you wanted to be, or you could go next door to the grocery store, or you could go down to Santa Cruz?
Yeah. I
okay.
think if I died in this moment, I
Yeah.
can go wherever I want.
Okay, immediately, or do you think there's a layover?
Immediately.
Fuck, I
Yeah.
hope so.
That'd be
Medium.
tight.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
just be like freeform
this is what I want.
through time and
All right.
space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you all three think you're going to become ghosts then?
I don't know.
Totally.
I think personally,
I would
my
like
life's
to
gonna be
become a
over,
ghost.
and I'm gonna move on to some other thing. And I hope that's way cooler than where we're at right now. And we don't know, but it'd be like, man, I lived by average 76 to 82 years, and it's like I'm ready to move on to somewhere else to see what's going on up there. You know what I mean?
I want a wispy little tail.
Oh,
You know, that's the kind of ghost.
And
I
it's
wanna
like,
be.
do you have the choice to just manifest that? These are the interesting logistical things, you know?
Oh, okay.
And it's like, do you have the choice to do what you want to do or do what they want to do? You know, it's just fun things to think about.
Yeah.
Fun thought exercise.
wars fought over this. You know?
Yeah, this is very true. Civilizations have ended
Yeah,
because of
over
these
this
questions.
conversation right now.
Jacob, as we just go around, fun facts. You have a robotics engineering degree. And I feel like this has benefited the band greatly.
Yeah, this is what I'm
agree
doing with
hard.
it. I'm
Yeah.
making little things. Yeah.
Okay, so Nick Camera, would you please, sorry, audio listener, please pan over here. Nick, you have created, Jacob, you have created these devices over here. Could you tell us about the thing on the left? In full context, just assume that we're total idiots who don't know anything about science.
All right.
Because this is the newest one, right?
That's the newest one
What is it?
as of yesterday. It's an optical tremolo effect. So it basically turns the volume of my guitar up and down as that little record covers the light bulb. So there's a little light sensor in there, and it kind of just switches on and off my volume really fast, and it kind of sounds like a wavy effect.
Okay, and if someone's listening to this and they can't see it, it's like a little mini record player with a record that has been like sliced and diced into like a flower almost.
Yeah.
And it's spinning around, and there's a light that you put up, and that light's being read how?
So the tone arm, I put a little light sensor in there. So there's a light bulb underneath, and then the light sensor in the tone arm, and the record blocks the light from the light sensor, and there's some electronics inside that turn that into a volume knob, basically, that turns my volume up and down.
Do you want to maybe give us like a sonic representation
like-
with your
it's
voice,
like-
please?
it's
Yeah.
like-
Clean tone first, please. Clean tone first.
Like that.
And
Okay.
why? Why do we do these things?
I was inspired by this dude, Soaring Tortoise. He's this older cat who makes just crazy shit online, and he's got all kinds of these like wild devices. He I think he's the first one that did something like that, but that really inspired me, and I just think it sounds really unique. It's not like anything else, and I think it looks pretty cool.
So you're playing guitar, and then that effect that you just made with your mouth is like happening to the sound of your guitar.
Yeah,
And that sound
exactly.
again is...
It's here. Let's try this.
'cause you said
It's-
clean tone and then other tone? Are
Okay,
they two
so
different?
clean
Clean tone
tone
first, please.
Clean tone is now, and then with the effect is now.
So
Hopefully that worked.
Yeah.
Are you is it activated by a foot pedal or?
Yeah, there's a little foot pedal on there. Switches a little relay inside, and yeah, so you can turn it on and off.
It's just some fun. It's fun science.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just fun.
Yeah.
And so speaking of fun, we have a television over here.
Okay.
Okay. Tell us.
Next up.
Tom is clapping because this is, of course, sound automated. Or
Yeah,
some bullshit.
it's like reactive to any kind of loud noises.
So do we want to be silent and maybe show it?
If you yell right at where the speaker, yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, there. That was a good one.
that's what you want. All right.
What
What is it?
So
How do we
let's
do
go.
it? Why did
So
we
it's-
do it?
So that I love going to the Capitola flea market and just buying a bunch of old vintage consumer electronics, and there it is, and messing with them. So this is an old black and white TV, and I put a microphone in it, and I used the audio amplifier on board that would normally play the sounds from the TV, and I kind of connected a microphone into the audio amplifier and then just switched a bunch of wires around. I connected the output of the audio amplifier to the input of the little deflection beam thing. So basically what the end result is it deflects the little electron beam up and down with how loud you are. So you kind of get a little visualization of whatever you're playing through there. And
Is this an example of how you turn a microphone or a speaker into a microphone?
I thought of that. I thought about that later. I could have just used the speaker in there as a microphone, but I actually took it out and put my own little condenser mic in there because it was a little more sensitive. But but you could totally do that. I'm sure. Yeah, you could just wire it backwards. Yeah.
So you do this just for fun then?
Yeah.
Like this, there's no like performance, audio performance aspect to this. It's just like you put this on stage and it's just kind of a fun thing for people to look at.
I think it looks cool. Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have a gimmick.
Yeah. It's a little gimmicky, but it's fun. Yeah.
And the phones are actually your working mics through the whole set. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Those are so we played a lot of house shows, and a lot of times when we play house shows, we can't hear ourselves.
To the audio listener, we've now jumped to the other two devices that are next to the two we previously discussed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Two telephones.
So we've got a Western Electric Model 500 and a Western Electric Model 2500.
Wow.
And
All from the
from
flea
the swap
market.
meet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Capitola, baby.
So we played a lot of house shows and we couldn't really hear ourselves, and so the solution to that was to use a little telephone handset with a speaker in it. So we had our own monitor, basically. So whatever we're speaking into the phone would be blasting into one of our ears through the telephone monitor. And then we kind of expanded on that idea, and I got a little circuit board from a karaoke machine, which is a little delay circuit, to kind of give it like an echo effect. Stuck that in there, and then I connected two of them together and put a little mixer on it so you can blend between the two. So now we've got like a whole system.
I love it. I didn't know that there was an actual utility to it. I thought it was just you being clever and retro.
Yeah.
I love that your style like reflects the era in which these devices were actually used. Go ahead. You were going to say something?
This is the next thing we're going to do is make the keypad on the little Model 2500. We're going to turn that into a little synth. So eventually it's going to be an instrument. That's the next incarnation of that.
We here at Onstage really love mouthing interpretations of your stuff. So it's like if you're dialing it, what happens?
So it's the one with the buttons, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And here's the idea.
Okay.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 12 buttons on there. So we're gonna make like a little pentatonic scale and then some Nashville numbers with the rest of them. So you've got like a 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, and then a little pentatonic scale with the rest of it. And
what does a pentatonic scale sound like?
It's like, oh no.
It's like the blues scale.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to sing it unless you have perfect pitch, maybe.
Something like that. A little something like
That's
that.
good enough. People will take that and they'll know what you were doing.
Yeah. But from a phone, you know.
Yeah.
So are any of these inventions you're like most proud?
Oh,
and if not, what is your most proud invention?
They're looking at you, Jacob.
They're all my favorite.
Yeah.
No, I really like the phone mics. I think I saw a band Japanther. None of this stuff is like totally original. Like I saw a band Japanther use phone mics, and I just kind of took it a little bit further. But those are probably my favorite because I feel like those are the most utilitarian. Like I really like the idea of taking like an old, like upcycling old electronics, you know, like using every aspect of like the form factor of something, you know, like it's I feel like I was able to utilize most of the physical, you know, attributes to the phone to make them, you know.
Yeah, and
do
our
stuff.
phones are connected with a telephone wire as well.
Yeah. So I feel like that's my most proud because I was able to work around the actual physical, you know, phone the most.
Is there like a belief system or philosophy or like something about the era in which these electronics come from that draws you to them?
It's the cheapest stuff at the swap meet.
Yeah, that's it.
And it also looks really cool. Yeah.
He says that stuff back then was just made really well. It wasn't made to break.
Totally. Those phones are like, I mean,
yeah,
they used to. I think the phone companies rented those out, so like you didn't even own them, and they're like tanks. They're just built so strong. Yeah. So yeah, I love that.
Have you ever had like an explosion in the lab?
Oh yeah, I got a pair of. Oh man, I was trying to make another one of those TVs. Somebody wanted to buy one, and so I was just trying to make another one, trying to replicate what I did with that one. And I had the cable plugged into the wall, and I got a pair of wire cutters, and I blew something up. And without unplugging it, I was like, oh, I should cut the power cord so this doesn't, so nobody tries to plug this in and, smoke comes out and whatever. So I cut the power cord with the thing still plugged in the wall. And it was the biggest spark I'd ever seen. And now my wire cutters have a little divot in them.
He also got lead poisoning once.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is this related to your robotics? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was using like a lot of leaded solder without any ventilation, and I was like eating where I was doing all this stuff, and like, yeah, I think that's what that was.
Once you get in the lab, though, it's like safety stuff goes out the window. You're like, I just got to do this. I don't care. I'm not going to get
mindset.
sick.
It's his bedroom. There's no lab.
There's no
well,
lab.
I mean, the lab.
The corner.
The lab exists.
The zone.
The lab is up here.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So
It's a
how do
state of
you know?
mind.
Did you pass out because of the lead poisoning? Did
No,
you
I
have to
just-
get hospitalized?
I don't know. I feel like it was lead poisoning. I felt like
Are you
shit.
permanently affected by
I
this lead poisoning?
I just looked it up, and I was like, what are the symptoms of lead poisoning? And then it was like everything that I was feeling, and I was like, this is what it is. But I don't know. It could have been just like
Turning green is the last phase.
Yeah.
Did you know that the Romans thought tomatoes were poisonous because they ate them on lead plates and it'd soak up the lead, and then they'd eat them and they'd experience symptoms
Whoa.
of lead poisoning? So we're like, tomatoes are poisonous, and it was totally false.
I did not
Crazy
know
Romans.
that. Fun
Yeah.
fact.
There you
That's
go.
a
Fun
good one.
fact. We're coming right back at you with fun facts.
All right. It's the big reveal. Alex, you work at Tesla.
Whoa.
But
Yeah.
you also feel like
I was going to say I'm interning at Tesla right
that's
now.
fine.
It's not a full-time
You
job.
still go in the building, don't you?
I do go in the building.
We'll move past Tesla.
Okay.
But we'll come back to it in like 10 years because it seems like right now we're at like the early part of the journey.
We'll be in space in 10 years with Tesla.
You will have put us there. But until we get there, speaking of space, you are a Capricorn.
No, I'm not a Capricorn.
Why'd you put that in the thing?
Jacob wrote the email.
Alex just gets really mad when anyone gets her star sign wrong.
I'm a
I just thought it was
Capricorn.
That's
funny.
not true.
What's your star sign?
I'm a Leo.
Okay.
Okay. The reason why I reacted like that is because we began drafting that email to you together, and then he was trying to make some stuff up about me, and I was like, Jacob, do not write lies about me because I'm not gonna play along. Like my immediate reaction every time is no, blah blah. Blah. Like this is like this happens all. He's a jokester. Yeah, I'm not a Capricorn. I'm sorry. I should have played along.
No, it's fine. It's good. You're a Leo, though. Do you feel like you are your sign?
At times, yeah.
So you don't really care too much about it. It was just like it's not even a thing you feel passionately about, but he still got you on it.
Yeah.
Maybe to move on past this,
Yeah, it's good.
you
Right.
could just speak Russian to us for like 2 minutes.
Whoa.
Oh no, that's gonna put me on the spot.
Say, I'm a Leo.
I'll say здравствуйте, как дела? Меня зовут Sasha. See, I'm really bad at speaking Russian, so I don't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah. Well, that was a good 7 seconds.
Yeah, that was
and
cool.
what did you say?
I said, hello, how are things? How are you? My name is Sasha, which
Yeah.
is my name in Russian.
So you do read the Russian?
I can read Russian. I don't necessarily understand everything that I'm reading,
Yeah.
but I can definitely sound it out. My parents speak to me like pretty much only in Russian, so I understand everything
Cool.
that they say.
Yeah.
And then classic, I respond to them back in English.
Caleb, your grandfather was a dairy farmer.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Just hitting them all.
We just got to hit them all.
You're
Alright.
really putting
Yeah.
us on the spot.
He didn't speak any Russian. He spoke Portuguese.
Was he a Portugal man?
No, he was not, unfortunately. However, his dad was from an island off the coast of Portugal in between Morocco and Portugal
Yeah.
in the Azores. It's where my dad's side of the family hails from. Everybody was a farmer, came over here, did the same thing, and that was that, yeah.
Your dad was not a farmer.
He was involuntarily a farmer until he could make the choice to do otherwise.
And you are not a farmer.
I don't know. I wear cowboy boots. I farm the world
close.
around.
Yeah, you're a young man. You
Yeah.
could be a farmer.
I
We don't
still
know
got
what you're
time.
going to
It's
be.
a farmer
I've
of
got time.
beets.
Yeah.
The beet farmers?
That's the segue.
As in BEAT.
Yeah, beet
making
farmers.
the music, not the vegetable.
No one's
There's a
seen
great
us
band called
perform
the
yet
Beet
at this point,
Farmers.
so-
That's a
Not
good.
that I
You're sitting across from a beet farmer right now.
There you go.
So this was included in the email. Is it worth talking about, or like the Russian and like the astrology? Should we
mean-
just leave it alone?
Scraping the barrel here.
I don't know. I mean, I think I've recently come into the idea that a cowboy could be a part of my identity.
Yeah.
You know,
How so? How do you think you stumbled on that?
I think I look great in cowboy boots, denim jackets, and a good belt. You know
yeah,
what I
you're
mean?
kind of
What else
rocking
can
it a
you
little bit
say?
tonight.
He's
honestly.
rocking this time.
Yeah, should we give him a good 1-2, a good
Yeah, let's
cowboy
see.
boot on the
Holy
tee?
Yeah,
shit.
there you go.
You know what I mean?
Those are some shit kickers.
Yeah. Oh, shit kickers. Okay.
He's
okay.
from the
man.
Central Valley too.
I
which
am.
helps.
I've seen a cow give birth. I've stepped through manure. I've driven to Kawasaki. It's all good. I get all the passes.
Jacob, you once told the newspaper, "Good Times," the Santa Cruz Weekly,
Wow, this
Publication.
Is a long time ago.
in 2017.
Ardwar
Oh no.
It's not a very long article, and it really is not very deep. So don't worry. I didn't. I really wish that it was.
Yeah, nardwaring me.
But you said
up to the mic, Jacob.
I have been accused of that before. You said we're not good at writing lyrics, so solos are helpful devices to help fill some space.
Yeah.
I guess.
Sounds about right.
The I guess is in the quotes, not outside
Yeah.
the quotes. Do you feel like that's changed in the last few years?
I think we've gotten better at it. Yeah. That was another, actually, the phone mics were also kind of a solution to me being self-conscious about lyrics because they just sound so lo-fi and so bad
Warbled.
that
Buzzwords.
like you can't really understand what I'm saying. So that kind of helped me. And I think,
Because it muffles them more, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct? So it makes it sound like it's supposed to be sort of this kind of mushy thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super distorted and you can't really make stuff out as well as you can with like a good mic. So I think having that as like kind of a crutch helped me just write stuff and not feel as weird about it.
Do you
And I
feel
think that
weird
helped me
about
in the
like
long run.
the poetry of the lyrics, like that it would show a part of yourself?
No, I just feel like it's lame sometimes. Like I'll write something, I'll be like, "This is sick," and then I'll wake up the next day and I'm like, "That, not sick."
Okay.
That's it.
Here's the question: has there been any lyrical work that you've done that you are actually proud of for this group?
I think High Low is pretty good.
Is it about an experience in your life?
Not so much. See, that one started off at it's about a bunch of little things. It started off as gibberish, and then the words kind of
Oh,
came
yeah,
afterwards,
yeah.
and then we had like there's like little pockets of it that are like cohesive, and I just think it's like it's kind of an abstract thing, but it's fun to sing, and I find meaning in little pockets of it, and I like it.
Good save.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
we first started
Good
playing,
save? Is that what you just said?
Yeah. Way to answer a question without
All
answering.
right.
No, I was just, I'm trying to join this dynamic of putting each other down.
Okay, all right.
No, frankly.
when we first
Well,
played
you're the
that
new
song,
guy, so it's like in prison, you have to like punch the biggest guy. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Very important point I just had to make.
My
Go ahead.
grandpa's a correctional officer. in prison,
What?
so
I thought he was a dairy farmer.
That's a different grandpa.
Everybody gets two.
How many grandpas does this guy have?
Who do you think would win in the fight? I'm so sorry, Alex. Who would win in a fight? Your correctional officer grandfather or your dairy farmer grandfather?
Whoa. Where's the fight? What era? Like, this is not enough
Are they both
information.
alive still?
Yeah, they're currently alive.
Okay, well, I think it's more fun to
It'd
think
be
about
more
them
fun right
fighting
now.
now. Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a difficult thing. I think one would definitely not be into conflict. I think they'd probably resort it. And
No, it doesn't matter what
they're.
they're into.
You're talking just physical
It's
stature,
like,
weight. and
hello,
such.
hello, Caleb's grandfathers. I have $10,000 to the winner of this fight.
Those are some high stakes.
Yeah.
High stakes.
Well,
I
this
mean-
is, see, you get your joy from torturing her. I get my joy from watching his grandfathers fight over large sums of money.
Large is 10,000.
Yeah.
100,000. I don't care.
Oh,
okay.
I'm just
Mr. Moneybags
You work
over
at
here.
Tesla. I mean, dial it back.
I'm an intern.
I have probably
Caleb.
$30 too many. In fact, I don't. This is an interesting tidbit. I don't have any wallet or cash on me
point.
right now.
Here's an interesting tidbit. Don't carry a wallet at all.
Oh,
I don't. You want
that
to check
is
my
brave.
pockets right now? I got a cell phone and that's it.
Well, that's fine.
It's
I have
amazing.
cards. You don't.
Whoa!
and
I have a debit card. I have a debit card.
Which father would win? Grandfather. Which grandfather would win? Is it the dairy farmer or is it the penitentiary guy?
I mean, just considering like their current level of like, I don't know. I
God,
think.
I'm Caleb.
You're thinking way too hard.
All right, I'm gonna go wild card correctional grandfather because when he gets angry, his eye twitches.
Okay, now one more question about the grandfather issue. Back in their prime,
Yeah,
they're strong men.
yeah.
Which one wins?
You know,
He's going
afraid
to
they're-
tear your family apart.
Yeah, I know, right?
You can't let anybody hear this after this.
They're
Yeah,
not going to listen to this. They don't know what a podcast is.
they're pretty savvy.
I would love them to listen to this.
Pretty savvy.
I would love it
Let's have the
also.
grandfathers
Turn
on.
it.
I would
Two
al-
people
okay,
onto
you know
the
what I would
Shoobies.
love is if
Yeah.
you at Thanksgiving, is either of them going to be there?
Not together, but potentially.
Okay, what I would love is if you went to each of them individually and you're
And
like,
asked them.
hey, who do you think would win in a fight? You were
That's a good question. Follow up.
Yeah.
Follow up.
Yeah, well, this is something that you can report to me in 5 years when the Shoobies comes back on.
Okay.
Okay,
5 years. I'll be
Yeah.
24 if we're worried about my age right now.
you will be
We're
24.
having-
Wow.
That's younger than how old Jacob is right now.
Whoa.
So we've highlighted some things about this band, some fun facts, some things we didn't know too. Is there anything we've left out? It is November 2019. You feel like we've done an accurate representation, for better or for worse,
God, I hope so.
of what a conversation
Oh,
with
man.
this band is like?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out, frankly.
Well, you're new to this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully you figure it out eventually.
Welcome, Caleb.
Yeah.
You're having a damn good time.
I'm hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're going to put an album out at some point.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That'll be fun.
We've been saying that for like 2 years.
Yeah, we
but
have.
yeah. Well, now we're going to say it again right now.
and then in another 2 years, we'll say it again.
The important thing is you never say when it's coming out.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
say it's coming out sometime in the near future.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We played songs.
You did. and
Well,
that's-
they haven't seen it yet, so who
you,
knows?
You are
Who knows?
going to be playing songs in a moment, and that is more than most people
Yeah.
can say.
Okay.
Right.
Well, here's the thing with this group. I was hanging out with Nick Johnston, who is an onstage camera person who's right back
Nick
there.
and the pups.
Nick and Pups.
Yeah,
Nick and
if you'd
Pups.
like to follow him on Instagram, it's at
Nick-
Nick and Pups.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was in Santa Cruz, and I saw you guys play, and I thought, my goodness, we have to get this band on stage.
You didn't see me play.
Thank
though.
you, Nick.
Yes, well, it doesn't all have
We
to
knew
be
you
about
were
you,
coming.
Caleb.
I know.
I saw the Shoobies play, not the Shoobies. I saw Shoobies play, and it was really great. And I'm glad that we were able to do this tonight. And it was not easy for you to get here. You drove in the rain. There were accidents. There were problems, but we did it.
There was water.
We made it here.
It's almost midnight,
in
but
one piece.
against all odds, Shoobies on stage got done. So thank you so much for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
It
much
was a
for
good
having
time.
us.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
awesome.
Appreciate it.
Really fun.
And Caleb, to your point, in just a moment, a collection of songs by Shoobies.
Sweet.
Caleb, what instrument do you play?
I play the drums.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Beat farmer.
Stick around for that. Thanks again,
Beat
everyone.
farmer.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.